As we exit through the hole created by the dissection of the ship, we come across one of the more popular of the ship's occupants. Meet Heineken, the green moray eel. Heineken played a recurring role in our expeditions to the Rhone, and we saw him about once every 3 dives. Leaving the bow section, we encounter all kinds of critters, large and small, who live in and around the wreckage. About 70 meters aft of the bow, we find the condenser, a huge conformation of pipes and steel, some 4 meters cubed. It is a formidable refuge for smaller life forms which live inside it, and for the schools of grunts and snapper which can always be found in its lee. About half the time, southern stingrays can be found in the sandy bottom near the condenser, or on the way to the structures we call the Roman columns. Their resemblance to ancient architecture gives the Roman columns their name. They were part of the superstructure, and 4 sets of them remain upright. They are at the same time eerie and majestic. Between the first pair of these is where we find a set of open-end wrenches, and we're not talking home improvement style wrenches. We're talking wrenches. Attempts at pilferage for mementos over the years have resulted in the damage or loss of some of these and most other artifacts, but these are so heavily oxidized and encrusted, they're going to be there for a while. Not far away is an old seacock which was used to regulate the flow of water. This is the area that held the Rhone's coal bins. We continue along the wreckage and visit the wide variety of fish that have made a home in the twisted metal that used to be a steamship. Sea turtles often accompany us during our explorations of the wreck site. Once they have determined that we pose no threat, these docile, inquisitive creatures seem to be as intrigued by us as we are by them. A few meters away, we approach the huge boilers, which rise from the ocean floor to a height of about 4 meters. Like the rest of the Rhone's remains, the boilers are now almost fully encrusted by corals and sponges. Returning toward the bow section, another set of Roman columns looms ahead and seems to serve as a headstone for the ill-fated steamer. The Rhone had 2 cannon on board, not so much for armament as for signaling. One of them cannot be found, perhaps buried under the tons of wreckage, or more likely scavenged by souvenir hunters. The remaining cannon is pinned between the ship and the ocean floor. The wooden decks have long since rotted away, allowing the hull to close in on itself. Here we find a set of davits, which has been kept polished over the years by considerate dive leaders. The immense cleats and other hardware give us a brief lesson in maritime history. To underscore the historical significance of the Rhone, this marker reminds divers of their responsibilities. Area dive operators, recognizing the importance of resource management, strictly prohibit their divers from desecrating this historical site. Perhaps the most often photographed feature of the Rhone is the foremast. It's a veritable jungle of corals and sponges and other resident sea life, and the floor of the crow's nest provides a perfect frame for subjects targeted by the enterprising undersea cameraman.